Morai Rabotai, we are continuing on Masechet Berachot, and we are on Daf Nun Vav Amud Aleph 56a. That is 11 lines down from the top of the line. We mentioned the rest of the Amud is going to be a famous and infamous story of Rava and Abaye trusting their top dream interpreter of Bavel. His name was Berachot, and both of them having many identical dreams. And this is really where the Gemara drives home the message of what we had in the previous Amud, that Kol HaChalomot Holchim Achar HaPeh, that the interpretation of the dream has tremendous power in directing the actual results of a dream. So we spoke that there are dreams that have intrinsic meaning. They're either good, they're either bad. As we're going to see in the next Amud, there are many dreams that come with clear interpretation or sign. It's the good sign, it's the bad sign, and what they exactly mean. But there is this element of potential in every dream, and some of them more than others, that when you verbalize it, when you bring it to reality, you say, this is what it means, then it's going to be directed towards that. So both of them are in balance, the power of the dream itself and the power of the interpretation directing the meaning of the dream. So here we go. Says the Gemara. Berachot was a person that interpreted dreams. This was the secret that no one knew. If you gave him good money, he gave you good interpretation. If you didn't give him money, then he would interpret it in a negative way. Abaye and Rava, they were peers, they grew up together. This is actually a very interesting part, because we had previously in the Gemara that Abaye and Rava were kids together, and they were asked, who do you bench for? Very HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they both showed the Shamayim, to the ceiling, to the up above. So you see that they were about the same age, and we have different Gemaras that says Abaye and Rava, they lived different lifespans. Rava, who learned only Torah, lived 40 years. Abaye lived 60 years. And you see from the following Gemara that that's not necessarily true. So this opens a whole underlayer of discussion of Rabba versus Rava. Sometimes you have Rava, sometimes you have Rabba, and which one is which is Shinui Girsaot in many places in Gemara. But nevertheless, for our sake, without making this too complicated of the genealogy and the timeline of Rabba versus Abaye, this is Rava and Abaye for now. And Rava and Abaye were peers, were friends. We have Rava and Abaye in every page of the Gemara discussing things. And not only they learned together, but they dreamed together, I guess. There are many identical dreams as well. So says the Gemara. Abaye v'Rava chazi chalma. Abaye yayiv lezuza. Abaye gave him his price. Rava lo yayiv. Rava did not give him. So Amri there, they told him, Akriyum bechelma, they read to us in our dream a pasuk from the Klalot. Pasuk says in Parashat Kitavo, in the Klalot of Devarim, Shorcha tavuach le'enecha velo tochal mimenu. Your shore, your cow, your oxen should be geschachten in front of your eyes, and you're not going to eat from it. Right? So the Rava Amar to Rava was easy, right? That's a pasuk in the Klalot. So he said, translated, it's a pasid it's iskach. That means your business is going to go down the drain. And you're going to be so down and depressed that you're not going to be able to eat. To Abaye, he said, marvach iskach, you're going to make so much money and be so busy and so happy that you're not going to want to eat. You're so excited that you're not going to want to eat. Exactly the opposite. From the joy that you have, you're not going to want to eat. Amrile, another dream. Akriyun, they read to us in the dream. Again, another pasuk from the Klalot. Banim ubanot tolid. You're going to have sons and daughters, velo yiyula, and they're not going to be yours, ki yelchu b'shevi, because they're going to go to captivity. It's the language of the pasuk. So, of course, to Rava, he didn't have to work hard. He just said the translation of the pasuk. Amarle kebishute. He said it like the bad meaning of the pasuk itself. To Abaye, you have to be more creative to say it good. He said like this to Abaye. Amarle banecha ubanatach. Your sons and your daughters, nefishi, they're going to be so many. Baruch Hashem. Umin siban benatach le'alma. And your daughters, you're not going to find them shiduchim necessarily all of them in town. So you're going to have to go out of town, and people from outside town are going to come and marry your daughters. Of course, they go where their husband's business and life is. So they're going to go away from house. It's as if they went to captivity because they're not next to you. But it's a bracha. They all get married. They all grow up. You see them under the chuppah. Amazing. Fine. A fourth chalom. Akreyan, they read to us in the dream, both Abaya and Rava, they had the same dream. Banecha ubnotecha netunim la'amaher, another pasuk yet from the Parashat of Kitavot, the Parashat of Kilalot. Banecha ubnotecha netunim la'amaher ve'enecha ro'ot ve'kalot alehen kol hayom ve'en le'yadecha. Your sons and your daughters are going to be given to another nation, and you can't do anything about it, the pasuk says. So the Abaya, to Abaye, he said, Banech ubenatech nefishin. You're going to have a lot of children, healthy, happy children that they grow up, and when they come to Shidduchim, right? Shidduchim crisis is never a new thing. So you're going to have a machloket with your wife. What's going to happen? You say, I want them to marry my family, from my side of the family. And she says, no, I want them to marry from my side of the family. You're going to have this discussion, and your wife, as always, is going to win, and they're going to marry your wife's side of family, and that's what it means. Your sons and your daughters are going to be given the amacher to another nation. That means to the other side of the family, which is not your side. That's what it means, but it's all good and amazing. They're getting married, they're healthy, they're good, fantastic. So he basically broke down the difficulty of the klala within the pasuk. So says the Gemara, that's what he said to Abaye, who paid him. What did he say to Rava, who was not paying him? Says the Gemara, Le Rava Amar, it's the first wider line. Debithu shchiva, so your wife is going to die. Ve'atu benateu benate, when your sons and daughters are going to come under the control of iteta chariti, another wife. You're going to marry another wife who's not going to be their mother, stepmother, and that's what it means. Banecha ubenotecha letunim la'amaher. They're going to be given to a stranger to raise, and that's what it means. The Amar Rava. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba Amar Rav. This is a drasha that we have had before in the name of Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, in the name of Rav. My dichtiv banecha ubnotecha letunim la'amacher, the first very wide line. What does it mean in the klala that says your sons and daughters are going to be given to a different nation? Zu eshet hav. That is talking about stepmother. Akriyum bechelma, another dream. Lech echol besimcha lachmecha. This is a positive, actually, pasuk. They read to them a very good pasuk in their dream from Kohelet. Shlomo Melech says, Lech echol v'simcha lachmecha, go and eat your bread with happiness and joy, ushte belev tov yenecha, and drink with good heart your wine, ki kvar atza Elohim et ma'asecha, because Hashem is happy with you. That's the pasuk they read. So that's the nature of the pasuk is very positive. So Abaye Amar, to Abaye he said, Kipshuto, he said, Marvach iskach, you are going to make so much money in your business and it's going to be successful. Ve'achalt ve'shatit ve'karit psuka mechedva. You're going to be eating and drinking and reading this pasuk to yourself because it is happening to you. The Rava Amar, to Rava said, Oy that's bad news, I'm sorry. You know what the dream means? The dream means you got to have such a downsize in your business. It's going to be so bad. Pasid iskach, you're going to lose a lot of money. And tavchat velo achalt v'shatit, and you cannot eat and drink. V'karit lepachuche pachtach, and you're going to be reading this pasuk to encourage yourself to, to melt away your basically pachad, your fear and your anxiety. You're going to read this pasuk to yourself as a bracha to yourself, as an encouragement to yourself. Says the Gemara, third white line. Akriyun, they read to us Zera Rav Totzia Sadeh, the pasuk again in Parashat Kelalot. Zera Rav Totzia Sadeh ume'at te'esof ki yachselenu ha'arbe, which means you're going to bring out a lot of seeds to the field, but you're going to gather just a little bit to your house because they're going to be infested by locusts. So says the Gemara, La'abaya Amar Mireshe. He only said the first part of the pasuk to Abaye. So, Zera Rav Totzia Sadeh means you're going to have a lot of produce. That's it. Forget about the second half. It just focus on the good. That's what it means. To Rava, he said only the second half. Right? Amar le misefe. He said you're going to everything's going to be infested. You're going to, lose all of your investments and so on. Right? Market is going to, the stock market is going to crash. The cryptos is going to go down. It's not going to be good. Says the Gemara. Zetim Amar le misefe Akrian. They read to us in the dream, another dream they had. Zetimi yulecha bechol gevulecha. You're going to have olives all over your boundaries and your land. V'shemen lo tasuch, but you can't use the oil. It's gonna get ruined. That's another pasuk in the Kelalot. So again, Abaye Amar le Mireshe. To Abaye, he said the beginning of the pasuk. So, you're gonna have zetim all over your fruits are going to be amazing, all over your boundaries and your land. The Rav Amar le Misefe. To Rav, I said from the end. Akrinan, they read to us another pasuk in the dream, that the entire land are going to see and be fearful from you. So the Abaye Amale nafak lecha shem adresh metivta. So Abaye said, you're going to become a Rosh Yeshiva, and your name is going to be going from one end of the land to the other end, and everyone is going to be in awe and reverence of you. Amazing. Your fear the fear and reverence is going to be all over the place. Says the Gemara, the Rava Amarle, to Rava said, Bedaina de Malka Itbar, the treasure house of the gold and silver of the king is going to be broken into. Umat past beganvi, and they're going to blame you as the ganav, and they're going to catch you and arrest you, and the whole world is going to be afraid from making a kal vachomer. They're going to say, wow, if they could catch the Rosh Yeshiva, if they could catch Rava, imagine how they could do it to us. They're going to be fearful from the government when they look at you. That's what it means. V'yaru mimeka means they will be fearful of the government from you, from what happened to you. So says the Gemara, and what the Gemara says, that's exactly what happened the day after. As you'll see later on in the Gemara, everything that Bar Hedge said happened to Abaye and Rava, everything. So it says, the Machar Itbar B'daina, the Malka. Tomorrow, the day after this dream, actually this happened that they broke into the treasure house of the king, the Atu v'Tafsel Rava, and they came and they arrested Rava. Amrile, another dream. Chazan Chasa al Pum Dani, we saw lettuce on top of the barrels of wine. Now, you have to understand, Rashi says, Abaye and Rava, both of them were in business of selling wine, making wine and selling wine. So a lot of the things that they have to do is with a barrel of wine. So they say, we saw Chazeret al Pum Dani, we saw the lettuce on top of the barrels of wine. If iskach kechasa, the leaves of lettuce are wide and are doubled. So it says your business is going to be flying. It's going to become wide and big, and it's going to be doubled. Amazing. Says the Gemara. If iskach kechasa, le Rava, to Rava says, marir iskach kechasa. This is going to become bitter little by little as the lettuce becomes bitter when it grows. Your business is going to become sour and go down the drain. Amrile, another dream they had together. Chazan bisra al pumdani. We saw a piece of meat on top of the barrels of wine. Abaya amare basim chamra said to Abaya, said, your wine is going to be so popular, so good, that the whole world is going to come to buy basar v'yayin from you, wine and meat. Amazing. The Rava Amar, to Rava he said, Takif chamrach, your wine is going to go sour and it's going to be bitter. And everyone would need to go to store to buy meat to be able to swallow the wine with it. They can't have the wine alone. They'll have to have basar to be able to drink your wine. So basically your business is going to go down. Amrile, another dream. Chazan chavita de tali bedikla. We saw a barrel of wine hanging on a decal on a palm tree on top. Abaya said, wow, your business, which is wine, is going to go up. Madli iskach kedichla. It's going to go up like the decal is so tall, the palm tree is so tall, it's going to go up. The Rava Amar, the Rabbi he said, Chali iskach ketamri. Your business, your wine is going to become sweet to people like tamarim, like dates are sweet. That means the business is going to be so good for people. It's going to be so cheap that everyone's going to want to buy it. That means you're going to end up having to sell. No one is going to be buying from you. So you're going to end up having to sell it for half the price, and everyone's going to come buy it because it's so cheap, which means you're going to lose a lot of money. Amri, he was a very creative person, as you see. Like, he could do both ways on the spot. Amrile, Chazan Rimona the Katchia Pumdani. We saw pomegranates on top of the barrels of wine. So la Baya Amare Ashik Ischa Kerumna. Rimonim are very expensive. So he said your business, your wine is going to be so expensive, selling for double the price, just like Rimonim, just like pomegranates. The Rava said, Kawi iskach ke Rimona. The taste of your wine, the taste of Rimonim rather, there's a certain sourness in it, the aftertaste that it has. And it said your business is going to be like that. It's going to go sour. Your business is not going to be good. Amri there, they said to him, Chazan chavita de nafal lebira. We saw a barrel of wine that fell into a pit, fell into the bore, into the well. So it says, Barhedia, labaya amale, mitbi iskach. Your business is going to be, your wine is going to be so in demand, like a thing that you cannot find. Like when you want to have a roll of bread and it falls into the pit and you can't find it. So you're looking for it and you can't find it. So your wine is going to be the top wine in demand. Everyone's going to have to buy Abaya wine, and no one could find Abaya wine. That's how in demand it's going to be. To Rava, he said exactly the opposite. He said, Hasid Iskach is going to be so bad, your business, no one is going to buy your wine. It's going to be worth just to pour it into the pit. It's going to be worthless. Right? V'shadi lebira. Amri le chazinan, we saw in our dream, bar chamra dekaya istan v'noer, a donkey that's standing by our head and is making noise. So it said, Abaye said, Malka Havid, you'll be melech, you'll be a king, you'll be a Rosh Hashiva. And what does the Rosh Hashiva do? He gives a shiur, and every Rosh Hashiva, especially if they had a large yeshiva, they would have a meturgeman. They would have somebody standing by them. They would say it, and the meturgeman would be like a broadcast. It will say it loud to everyone, that everyone should hear it, and also have the time to review it at the same time, those who heard the first time from the Rosh Hashiva. So he told him, this like loud person that's standing by your head is you being the Rosh Hashiva and having a loud meturgeman. That's what it means. That's what he said to Abaye. To Rava, he said, Peter Chamor Gahid Mitfilach. He said to Rava, when it says in your tefillin shel rosh, because the dream was a donkey by the head, so he says the word Peter Hamor donkey that's mentioned in the tefillin shel rosh for you has been erased. So your tefillin is pasul, basically. So says Rava, he says, no, can't be. I checked my tefillin. It has actually the word Peter Hamor in it. So it can't be that that's the pshat. So says to him, I saw the word Peter Chamor in my tefillin. And there, it's not erased. He said, no. Vav the Peter Chamor vadai kai. The vav of Chamor has been erased. That means what? If you take a look in your tefillins, Chamor, it's written chet mem resh without a vav. We write it with a vav, it's pasul, right? How about if you write Chamor and you then finish the whole tefillin, and then you're like, oh, I want an extra wav there, right? So then you want to make it kasher, right? So that becomes very questionable because it has to be kisidran and pasul kasher. So he says the vav was written there and he erased it, the sofer. That's what it means. So says the Gemara. Lesof, Rava said this is not working. Every time I go with Abaye, something good happens to him, something bad happens to him. This contrast is not working. So I'm going to go alone. Maybe it's going to be better. Maybe it's going to be a change of mazal, right? Says the Gemara, Lesof asa Rava lechude. He went alone to Bar Hedya. So he tried his luck, saying the dreams that he had alone. Amalei, he said to him, Chazai the shada brighta. Dasha the nafal. I saw the outside wall door of my house that fell. So Amaleh, this is a very bad dream. Ishtecha shachva. Your wife is going to die. I mean, he said it before also to him when he said your children are going to be raised. So he said it here again. So the wife of Rava is going to die. Amaleh, he said, another dream I had. Chazia, Kachishne, the natur. I saw my jaws, my teeth that they were falling. So he says, Amaleh, Banach ubenatach shachban. Your children, Shalom, Rava's sons and daughters are going to die. Amaleh, I saw another dream. Tarti Yoni the parchan, two doves that they flew away. Amaleh, Trenashi Megarshat. You're going to get married twice and you're going to divorce the wives. Amaleh, this is pretty bad. Amaleh, Chazaitre Gargelidi the lifter. I saw two heads of lefet, of turnips. Amaleh, Tren Kulfi Balad. You're going to be hit twice. Azar Rabba, that day it was a pretty bad day for all these interpretations. He went to Bet Midrash. He said, okay, fine, I'm going to go learn the whole day. He sat in the Bet Midrash, Kula Yoma the whole day. Ashkach, Hanautre Saginori. He saw two blind people who were fighting, and he went to to try to separate them. They were fighting. He went to separate them. They each one, they're blind. What do you want? Each one of them threw a punch, and instead of hitting the other blind guy, they hit Rava. So he got 2 punches, as it was said to him by Berachot, right? So it says the they raised a hand to punch him a 3rd time. He said, no, enough. I only saw 2 turnips, 2 punches in my dream. Don't hit me anymore, right? So at the end, he realized this is not working. Maybe I should pay him. Maybe it's going to be more siyata d'shmaya if I pay this guy. So next time he brought his checkbook, right?
Why don't you just get up and leave when he starts hearing these horrible things?
Well, you'll see, because he believed, especially because everything happened when he said it, he believed that this guy really has a chokhmah. He knows, he sees something, he knows something. There's a whole chokhmah in the Havu come in. So he said, so the sof atarama b'yav le'agra. He said, okay, I'm going to pay him. Amaleh. So he's coming to him for the payment. And now look at the contrast. He's going to have horrible dreams, and everything is going to be amazing, rosy and fantastic. Amaleh chazai ashita de nafal. I saw the walls of my house that fell. Right? Sounds pretty bad. He said to him, "Oh, there could not have been in the history of humanity a better dream than this." You know what it means? You're going to have assets without any boundaries. It's just going to go up and up, no end to it, no boundaries. Because walls are boundaries. You think walls are good, walls are not good. Walls, put a limit. Your things are going to be limitless. Amazing. I saw the walls of the house of Abaye that fell, and the dirt and the dust covered me. Amaleh, Abaye Shachiv. No loyalty to Abaye over here. Says Abaye is going to die, and you're going to get his yeshiva. All of his talmidim are going to come to you. The dust that covered him means all of his students, or the entire yeshiva of Abaye is going to come to you. I saw also my walls of my house fell also. And everyone came and they were taking my stuff from my house. They were looting my house. So that sounds pretty bad. So it says, Berachot I said, that means that your Torah that you teach is going to be spreading to the whole world. Everyone is going to want to come and take a brick from your Torah. Your Torah is going to be spreading the whole Yama v'Safona, the Daroma v'Negva. The whole world is going to know your Torah. That's what it means. Amaleh Chazai, the Avkareshi, v'Natar Mokri. So it says, I saw a dream, very bad dream, disturbing. I saw that my skull opened up and my brains fell out. So it says, it means nothing. It just means that if you go to your house right now, you'll see that your pillow has ripped and all the feathers are coming out. That's what it means. Nothing. They read to me Halela Mitzri in my dream. Halel that we say. Halel is when you say Halel when Nes happens, that means Nisim are going to happen to you. It's going to be amazing. Miracles are going to happen to you. They were going on a ship together, a boat together, and Berachot tells himself, he says, I just told this guy that miracles are going to happen to him. That means he may be put in a very difficult position to need a nest to happen for him, and to him it's going to happen. To me, it may not happen. So I realized, Berachot says, that I put myself in a jeopardy by interpreting his dream like that. So I'm going to separate from him now, right? When he was going off the boat, basically, Nafal Sifra Mine, his secret book of interpretation of dreams fell from his pocket, right? So Rava, picked it up. He said, oh, he dropped his interpretation book. So he opened it and he read. Ashkeche Rava found this book, and he saw that as a first rule and the middle rule and the last rule of interpreting dreams, it says over there, all of the dreams follow the interpretation, which means all of these bad things that he told him and they happened could have been prevented had he not interpreted in the way he did. That means it was in his control to say what he said to Abaye and to say what he said to Rava. That's pretty bad. So Amar, he went to him, he confronted him, he said, Rasha, you Rasha, Bedidach Kaima, it was in your hands and under your control, Vesa'artan Kulehai, and you put me through Sar so much, through suffering of you're going to lose your children, you're going to lose your wife, you're going to lose your business, you're going to lose everything, just because I didn't pay. He says, Kuluhu machinalach. This is the greatness of Rava, by the way. He says, all of them I'm mochel. Everything that you did to me, I'm mochel. Bar mi brate Rav Chisda. Aside from the daughter of Rav Chisda, which was his wife. He said, you killed my wife, that I'm not mochel. And he gave him a klala. Yeher Rava should be Hashem's will, the Mesar Ha'ugavra, that person, meaning you, should be given to the hands of a government that they're not going to have any compassion on you. So Barhedia is petrified. He said, I just got a klala from the Gadol Ador. So what do I do? He's a goy, whatever it is, but he's afraid. You know, he's upset at me and he has reason to be upset at me. What do I do? My Abid, what am I going to do? Gemiri, we know the kilelat chacham afilu bechinam hiba'a. If a chacham gives a curse to somebody, even if it's bechinam, even if it's not due, even if it's not in place, still is going to come. And kol shken, in my case, said Bar Hedra, the kol shken Rava, and in my case, said Bar Hedra to himself, the Bedina Kalait, he has all the right in the world to curse me. So Amar, he said to himself, I'm going to go to Galut. I'm going to go through difficulty of going somewhere that nobody knows me and accept upon myself Galut, the Amar more, because we know Galut mechaperet avon. Galut, is an atonement for avonot. Kam gali leberumai. He went to Rome. He went to a new place. Azal yativa petra the resh turzina. He went and he sat by the house of the head of the treasurer of the Roman emperor, the Malka. Resh turzina chazachalma. He saw a dream. This guy, the head of the treasure house. He said, I saw a dream, very disturbing. The ayil machata be'etzbati. This machat, this needle was going to my hand. Amale, havli zuz. I said, give me a zuz, give me a coin, and I'll tell you what it means. He said, I'm not paying. Lo yaivle, didn't give it. Amale, lo amale. He didn't say to him what it means. Didn't say what it means. Velo midi, nothing. Amale chazai de nafal tichla, but the tartines party. So I saw a disturbing dream. I saw that the tichla fell into the two of this party. Amale, havli zuza, give me money, I'll tell you. It means something. I know what it means. If you give me money, I'll tell you. He said, I'm not giving money. Velo yahavle, velo amale, and he said nothing. I'm not telling you. Amale chazai de nafal tichla bekule yada. I saw that it fell into my entire hand, not just one finger and two fingers. He said, Amale, you want to really so badly, you want to know what it means? I'll tell you what it means. It means nafal tichla bekulu shirai that worms are coming out of all of the shiraim, all of the silk and the expensive clothing of the king, the garb, the main royal garb of the emperor, which is your job to keep, is being completely ruined, and there's worms all over it, is ruined, is done. And it was your job to save it. You could have saved it if you paid me the first time, and you didn't, and now you'll have the interpretation of your dream, right? So he basically smeared it on his face. But if you know a thing or two about the Roman Empire, you don't mess with the head of the treasure. So what happened is like this. So Berachot thought that he's off the hook. What did he do wrong, right? And what happened was like this. Shami Bemalkam, it came out that actually this happened. All the royal garbs of the king were ruined, and they brought this head of the treasure and they wanted to kill him. They said, you didn't do your job. You had one job to do, and you didn't do it. They wanted to kill him. Amar lehu, he said, Ana bayai lehai. So why are you bringing me to kill me? There was a fellow that knew what was happening, and he didn't tell me. They said, who? They captured Berachot. They brought Berachot. Amri leh, they told him, Am tu zuza didach charbu shirai. Because of one zuz that you wanted to charge, you caused the entire treasure house of the garbs of the king, the royal garbs, to be ruined. So what they did was, this is not for someone that's going to run away. This is if you're faint of heart, leave. What they did to him was pretty gruesome. Kefitu train arzi. They went to a place that there were two cedar trees next to each other. They bent with very thick ropes, the two arazim, the two trees. They brought it down. They tied one side of every rope to his legs, and they were bent and pinned to the ground, the thing, and then they cut the ropes, letting the two trees go back to their place, ripping him to two pieces alive. And that's what they did. That was the end of Berachot. Says the Gemara in Arzi Bechavla, they bend them down with thick ropes. Asur chad kare lechad Arza, one leg of his they tied to one tree and the other leg to the other tree. Veshad lechavla, they cut the pinning rope down, and they let the two ropes attached to trees go back to their place at the instalik reshet, and until it was cut to two. Azal kol chad vechad, each one of the trees went back to their place, and he was killed in that way. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we will continue this in the days to come.